Now on this project, guys, I have these bunnies from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use 3 of these, and I'm going to use one of the boxes from Christmas, or you can use poster board. I'm also going to be using this burlap. So first, trace your bunnies out on the cardboard, and then cut them out. Then you'll want to take a pair of scissors and remove the little cotton ball from off of their tail. Boy, as you can see, I changed his ear. Now the way you do that, guys, is number one, you have to do it at an angle right there in the bend. You're going to go just straight up at an angle. I want to flip that to where the angle is inward and then attach it. And now we get to assemble it. Just simply hot glue your felt bunny onto your cardboard. This is the one we angled the ear, so I put the larger part on first, then I placed the small angle turned around correctly and glued down the ear. And these are going to turn out great. These are just awesome. So just glue all of them down onto their cardboard piece. And this is going to give them a more stable, it's working as a stabilizer for our bunnies. And just make them easier to work with. So now you want to take your burlap and lay on top of them and just cut it. I went ahead and glued it down, then I cut it out. Now it's just cutting the difference off the excess and trimming them up, and then glue your little cottontail back on. And do all 3 of them the same way. And look at them, aren't they cute? I put Flopsy, Mopsy, and Peter, all brothers and sisters together with their little cottontails. They're just awesome. This is the 11 by 14 frame from Dollar Tree, and I'm using the frame part. Now guys, I bought this chicken wire at Home Depot, but I do have an affiliate link in the comment box below. If you'll click on that, you'll get it for a little better price from Amazon. This is the 1-inch, and if you follow me, we'll be doing lots of projects with chicken wire, and it's just so farmhouse style. So basically we're going to take this chicken wire right here, and it comes with this wire wrapped around it. Please put that on a spool and save it. I use that, and that's why I'm taking the time to pin it down. Now I used the 11 by 14 paper in the frame that I have, and I'm using that to cut my chicken wire. Those metal tabs in the frame, pull those out, guys, and just throw them away. It just makes it easier for us to work our frame. Now, just go ahead and stretch out your chicken wire and get it fitted into your frame, and then you can just go ahead and start gluing it down. And you know, be careful, the glue is hot, but just glue it down into your frame. The burlap is going to go on the back. Now right here, you see me marking the burlap through the chicken wire of the bunnies. That's because I wanted to add some of the green floral, and I actually wanted to know where bunnies were. So then I glued it into place, and then I flip it over, and I glue the burlap to the very back of the frame, and the bunnies will be glued to the front of the frame. So just glue that into place, and that makes it flush, and it'll keep the chicken wire from scratching anything too. And then on the very front, you're going to take and scruffy up those metal letters, guys, with your sponge sander, so they'll adhere to the frame really good. All right, guys, she is ready. What do you think? I think she turned out really, really good. I'm excited about this one, and I'll hang it up and get you some better shots. So thank you for coming along on this one, and give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. Let me know that you like it. Leave any comments in the box below. Okay, so here's my pillowcase, right? You'll need scissors. And basically, what the idea is, a lot of times they recommend 1 yard or a fabric, and they usually say to use muslin. Well, I don't really much worry about that, but the width and the length, this makes about half yard. This is a yard. It takes a yard to make a pillowcase.
That's why I said you can use old sheets or whatever. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that seam because it will get in my way here shortly. Alright, so this is what you do. About every 1 inch, put you a snip. And I go ahead and go across there, and I'll show you. Just go ahead and make your little snips across there, because you're actually going to be tearing this, guys, and that gives it that raggy look that you're wanting. And this is like real simple. You can use old blanket, old bedding, or whatever. And I'm trying to remember how many strips I got out of this. I mean, you can do the math, and they don't have to be accurate. You're just trying to get it snipped, because you're actually going to be tearing this. All right, so now see, I've got a little rip there, a slit, and right here on this seam, because this is a pillowcase, you're going to have to snip it there. So if you do like me, tear it to that point. Now we're going to tear it all the way down, but this just kind of moves it along a little faster. But this is a nice gift for Easter, especially the kids shut in. I do it for my decor, you know, just sit-abouts, and you can decorate them all kinds of ways. And you'll just tear it, and it's real easy to tear. And it just takes you a hot minute to go through here. Now here's what's neat. You take your styrofoam ball, guys, but halfway. So I've got it folded in half. So you got your halfway mark, and you're going to drape it over your ball. Now this is the idea. This is basically what you're going for. You're taking your strips, and you're just going to keep going across the top of it until, and keep them at your halfway point. You know, try to get it at that halfway point so that it's draped across there. And just, I basically just kind of rotate it. You gotta have 5 strips. You gotta have 4 for the arms and 1 to tie the arms on. So 5 long strips. So let me correct myself. Okay, so this is the last strip to put on there. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Okay, so it's all balled together. Now, we're going to take one of the long strips, a full long strip, and just kind of find your halfway point. That's what I do, just visually. Okay, so I know that's halfway right there. And lay it stretched out. Now take your doll and lay it on there. You're going to take your strip, and you're going to do a square knot. That's right over left, just a regular square knot. And you're going to pull it up really good and snug. Make sure all this is pulled down. And then left over right. And there's your square knot. Lay your doll there. Get your other 4 strips that's for the arms. I've just got mine facing the same way. Fold them in half, guys. Fold in half. And right here in the middle is where you're going to cut it with a pair of scissors. And then I just turn mine to where they're all facing the same direction. So there's my 8 strips. Now to make this easy, I'm going to lay that down. Now I've got my doll. Now remember, we had these pieces that we tied the neck up with. Where the knot is at, I know that's the front. And this is the easiest way that I show people how to do this, so you don't get confused, because you got to get your arm strapped on. So the knot, turn it face down. Make sure you keep those strips out. Alright? Now, you've got that laid right there at the neck. I hope everybody can see that good. Now follow me on this. You're going to take the left one. You're going to go up under the strips and bring it to the right. Okay? Does everybody follow me? You're going to take the right one, you're going to go up under the strips and bring it down to the left. Does everybody see what's happening there? I got some thumbs up. Everybody with me? Alright, so take those pieces and you're going to once again do a square knot in the back, because we're in the back, and pull it up real snug. And see how those arms kind of buckle up for you, almost like the elbows are bent. Just so you know, just in case you're afraid her arms might come loose, you can go ahead and square it. And then that's just going to fall down into the body. So has everybody got that? So here we have her arms. And see, even looking like this, they look really, really cute. Don't you think? So we got our arms, and a lot of times I will take and tie ribbon here, just so it gives her some gathered up arms, and I'll do that here shortly. So what I want to do now is I got a needle and a thread, and I also have a 10" by 10" square piece of fabric. Now you're going to use this for the rest of it. So you've got your 10" square, and I am going to fold it down 6 by 10. The other part we're going to use, but I only want that. And see, basically we're making her dress or her apron, whichever you want to call it. So probably here. I'm going to cut that at a 1" strip, because I've done enough of these. I'm telling you in advance, and you'll see why right here in a moment. And I'm going to take this one and cut it. So I've got 3 1" strips there. Now, just lay those out of your way for the time being, because those are going to be your arms and your bottoms. Now take your needle and thread, and you're going to do a running stitch. It's just basically a gathering stitch. And I pretty much bring mine up, and I'll do that a couple of times just so it keeps my knot there. Now that that's on the top, I just do a gathering stitch and come about, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 inch down. And see, when you pull it, you want it double that string so that it will gather it up for you. And you'll move a whole heck of a lot faster if you do that. Because you should be able to get through here in a jiffy. Up and figure out exactly how big or how far across I need it to be before I tie it down. Because I don't want it globbed. And you want low temp on your hot glue gun. You don't want it high. And see, she is just looking so cute right there. Now remember, I told you guys to cut those 1" strips. So this is what we're going to do. This is the bottoms. And a lot of times you'll crisscross the arms and go across the shoulder per se. And so since I've got those arms going in the direction I want. And another thing that you can do is go ahead and tie some strips onto the arms. Simply because sometimes they'll be flopping around. So if you wanted to, really, let me just do this. I'm going to cut that in half as well, because you don't need it wide. And this way, if you're using ribbon, this is really cool because you can use a small piece of ribbon and tie up their arms. And you can have even extra left over. So once again, this is just basically teaching a square knot. Right over left. And then left over right. And voila, we have her little sleeve on there. You can leave some tails on it if you want to. I'll go ahead and cut them down a little bit. And I save every piece of scrap, guys. So here we go again. You're teaching a square knot. So right over the left. pull it taut, and then left over the right. And that is a regular old square knot. Alright, so we got our sleeves on. Now here's our bottoms. Take that 1-inch strip and you're going to crisscross it. Go across the shoulders and around the back. Now you can tie it if you want to, but because I have glue gun here, I'm actually going to put glue gun on mine. Or glue on it. Hot glue on it. And spread that out or it'll just be one big hard clump. And where my temp's so cool. Alright, so I'll go, and you can make it look like it's you know, just pull on it and get it to looking cute. And this fabric, guys, I love this fabric. I bought this fabric like last year, I believe it was, and I was doing watermelon placemats. But remember, this might have raw edges, so the way to fix that is turn this in. And anybody that sews would think of that, like I'm thinking of it because I sew. Now I'm just going to lay a little glue there for that raw edge. And then, let me slap some more in there. And I want to bring this to the other side. Really make these things beautiful. So we got a raw edge turned in, and I'm actually going to put a spot of glue right across that ruffle, and I'm doing that for more control and so it doesn't roll up. Also, these are washable, so you can literally take these things and throw them in the dryer, washer and the dryer. That's all you gotta do. You can use yarn. You could use, like I've got this mop head, and this is what I've been using, yarn or fake hair, if you got fake hair, or an old baby doll. You could use the hair from off of it. And generally what I do here is I generally see about the width of, across the top of her head. I think it was 7 I counted last time. It might have been 9. So there's 9. Trying to do anything different because I want to lay these middle ways across her head. And this is just the way that I do it. You can do it any way you want to. I'm just showing you a super fast, easy way to do it. So I'm going to put glue there and press that down. And I just go ahead and get them laid out there. And then go to putting glue in there. And you can get particular after you get them in place. Is, remember, we had this piece, and I want to use part of this as the brim for the hat. Buttons, of course, and just try to pick you a couple. You can use about anything you want to, and it takes very little glue. Here's what you do. You take your black magic marker, and we're going to make her smile lashes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait on the nose. Now I do have a marker here that's a pink, and we can pray. Now the mouth, even if you look at your own mouth, your mouth is in line with your eyes. Okay? So if you're doing the mouth, just stay in line with the eyes. And that way you got her a little smile going there. Just put some little arches on her mouth. Now for her nose, I just can't stand it, so I'm going to have to put at least a dot there. I'll put kind of a bigger dot.
Okay, guys, now it's time to make her a little hat. Every pretty girl needs a ribbon spool hat. I'm basically just repurposing a spool, an empty ribbon spool. And you can see here if you need to pause it or stop it so that you can see what's going on. I basically glued burlap to the outer part, put some fabric where the ribbon was, trimmed off the excess cardboard, and then to make it fit more snug to her head, I decided to glue it directly, so I tore the bottom of it off after all that. And I later added her some daisies to the top of her hat. You guys, I know this one was lengthy, but I do hope you enjoyed it. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. And if not, I hope you now just decide to subscribe. And I'm going to give you a better shot. Here comes a picture of our project number 2 and 3, our little rag doll. And she is just cute.
Hey guys, Elizabeth here. And today's DIY, we are going to basically make us an Easter swag wreath. Now what I'm going to use is the hat wreath form from Dollar Tree and the garland from Christmas. Now the reason why I'm doing this, guys, is to build this out because I want this swag to fall downward on the sides, and I think you'll get the idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my needle nose pliers and I'm going to cut this frame away because I only want this upper section, the boat area, and then we'll start to decorate. Save the other part of your frame, guys, because we'll use that for another DIY. It would be a perfect ladder form. Now using this garland, guys, this is our background greenery, and you're probably not going to see this as at all. I just did not want to try and use plastic or bags or something to fill out this frame, and this garland is going to help me get this fall down the sides.
So taking, at least threefold and sliding it on the end there on that tip, and then start wrapping that garland. And look, it does not have to be neat, guys. Just get it wrapped. It is a backdrop covering so that we have something to anchor our carrots and our ribbon and everything to. And that's all it's there for. And then I tied on my extra greenery in strategic places. So you want your form to look like that. And then tie on those little greeneries in 6 places. And then we're ready to start decorating this girl.
I've got my greenery tied on there in strategic places. Okay, guys, I've got my ribbon, and what I want to show you how I'm doing this is I did like a shoe tie bow here. I left myself about a 12-inch tail hanging on this side, and then I am taking the ribbon, this is 2.5-inch ribbon, and I am wrapping it around. Now before I get any further, I want to anchor this down. I'm going to take me a Chanel stem or pipe cleaner, whichever you guys want to call them, and I'm going to actually cut it in half because
Alright, so I took my pipe cleaner and I went ahead and attached that bow on one side, wrapped the ribbon in between the greeneries that I placed about. There's a total of 6 of those frawls strategically placed, and then I tied a bow on the opposite side and pipe cleanered it into place. Now it was just the right amount left over to create me some tails, and then I glued them behind it, and as you can see, guys, it was just right. This thing has totally gone country. I love it. It's gorgeous. Now, I'm showing you here where I've went ahead and I'm gluing those greens down so that they don't fall off, come off, or blow off by the wind. Now, all these eggs, all of this stuff came from the Dollar Tree, every bit of it. This foliage from the Dollar Tree. Now, this looked more like carrot top, so of course I took a skew, pierced a hole, and started strategically placing those leaves atop those carrots. You'll need approximately 7 of them. And then I started putting ribbon through 3 of these eggs, glued it, and then glued the egg closed because I don't want them coming apart or losing a piece of them if the wind caught up. And then I tied them in the center and glued them as well, staggered in the center of my wreath. So as you can see here, I'm just arranging and staging. Now at this point, I started putting my little eggs and my carrots all about my wreath. And the point here, guys, is I really wanted this to plain gone country. I mean, totally gone country. So I took my eggs and I actually glued them in the center of the bows on each side. And it is just absolutely coming together gorgeously. And trust me, this thing could hold more decoration, but I do have a small door living in a double wide. And I started gluing everything into place and just putting it where I wanted it, where it looked good. And I wanted it to have that arch effect. Now I found these burlap bunnies and I put them in place. Then I had some gingham blue ribbon I had found from a time ago. And I made what I call a 4-bow ribbon. I made 2 of those, one for each side, pipe cleanered and tied them on. And this thing is just, oh my gosh, plain gone country. Love it, love it, love it. I wanted a wreath, guys, that wasn't made of flowers, didn't require deco mesh, and it was just everything that represented Easter. Now, as you can see, I've kind of woven the tails of my ribbon, of my bow, around my wreath and just left the tails really, really long. And I'm just trying to place everything and just make it look really adorably cute and so country. And then I made me a great big huge bow in the center. I actually made that blue ribbon much smaller and then my Easter bunny ribbon much larger. Tied that in the center of the whole wreath, the whole swag. Now, what you're fixing to see is one of those little bunnies from Dollar Tree. Now, this little bunny I ended up with, guys, that you're fixing to see, his ears were on backwards. So I took the glue gun, I twisted the one around, bent it, and glued it down. And then the other one, I just made it straight and stand up. But you guys, she's beautiful, plain gone country. I hope you love it and thank you for coming along. Please subscribe.
Here is the swag wreath and the bunny that we put in the middle along with our little semi bow. And I've added the little rabbit with the grass up there in the corner. Another thing, guys, is take your frame, because it is so boxy, and bend the ends on the sides here and bend those inward, but do it from the back once you've got your wreath put together. And I'm just absolutely tickled. It is so countrified, guys. It is so countrified. I love it. And it's got that flare of pink with the rabbits and the checkered ribbon and the little carrots and the eggs. And like I said, this wreath was actually inspired by a very, very elegant holiday Babla's wreath that I'd seen that wreath probably last year. And it's still gorgeous to me, and I've kept that picture. So this is my country rendition of that wreath. And like I said, theirs is more elegant. And I would love to do this wreath in a whole other, even more Victorian type, very fancy with beads and silver and lace and sheer ribbon and stuff. But for the countryside, this is definitely beauty. And it's just got so much detail and the greenery. And as you can see, you cannot see the Christmas garland at all. And just those frogs of foliage there. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this and just adorn it as much as you can. I wanted to make something that absolutely did not consist of any deco mesh, did not consist of anything with flowers, and I wanted it to totally be themed with carrots and rabbits and eggs and just anything Easter. And I wanted it to be a swag that would fit on a small door. And this is actually, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is actually on one of those cardboard folds that you can get that a lot of people do their photo shoots from. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.